Hi everyone, welcome to Reading the Game, where we don't just focus on the basic things football podcasts focus on, but also on tactics, mental health, business, and most prominently, intelligence while playing. I'm your host, Ethan Riker, and today I'm joined once again by Peter Riker, who has 25 years of coaching experience and a UEFA B license. Today we'll be talking about our experience of playing or coaching on a team in Morocco called Etoile. So Etoile means star in French. We didn't come across this team until later on when a friend of mine joined, and we noticed it was pretty competitive, so we joined.
It was always tricky trying to find teams that were well run. Unlike Spain, the structure's not the same, and so you're kind of going year to year trying to find clubs that are kind of put together and are having games. That's the thing. There's no league schedule. And so, that doesn't come from the federation. It's kind of up to each team to sort out who they're going to play and to create their own tournaments and games. There are a few teams at the top, the very, very top, like 6 teams in the whole country that actually get a little bit of help from the federation to run a league, the top pro teams. But other than that, it's kind of a mess all the way through. So you're just kind of looking out and trying to find somebody who's put together something good.
Yeah. And we came across this, I don't know, we weren't necessarily looking for it, but when we found it, we realized that this was kind of the club for us. Like you said, it was extremely organized, and I think that was one of the things that appealed to us. We didn't have consistent leagues in Morocco, whereas in Canada, there's consistent leagues, even though there's too many leagues. In Spain, I would say the league pyramid is top-notch, world-class. So having that consistency in games and tournaments was something that really appealed to us. And one thing about it, it had a lot of really gifted players.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got that group of players together initially. Well, I think there was some connection to the academy coaches. Like he must have known some of those guys because a lot of those players they were very skilled players, like a group of them that he pulled together. Probably just the parents of those good players looking for, the best training environment for the kids. So,
they were another level for their age, and I don't know how I made the team at the time. I guess I was the only defender that knew how to jockey. And
well, we kind of filled a void of, a certain specific role on a team that they kind of needed. And you did the simple things just right. Switching play from one side to the other first, opening it up, passing and tackling and heading because you were taller than everybody else.
That was the main thing.
Yeah.
Heading, I shot penalties. Yeah. I could slide tackle and I could jockey.
But, what an amazing opportunity because that forced or gave you a window into another level of
soccer.
Play.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that it gave me the opportunity to go deeper into the game and focus more on other sides of it that I wouldn't necessarily look at. More specifically, the technical side of the game I wasn't very good at. I was physically... while I was tall and I was big, I was luggish and slow. And so it was a really good outlet for me into the competitive game. But yeah, it was a very, very competitive teams. And with the competitiveness that we had and the organization of the director, I think he did a great job of organizing tournaments for us. We got to play a couple tournaments against teams from other countries like Algeria, and we played against teams like the Kings team, or to be more specific, the King would have a team. I think I've already mentioned this on a previous episode, but the King has a team that he owns, and it's like the Royal Academy, and it's all the best players are scouted to go there, like the top players in Morocco, and it's kind of like how would you explain it?
Well, yeah, I mean it's probably the national prep program, and so it's good that they have that. Many countries have different versions of it because Morocco's a monarchy. they call it, the King's Academy. And so, yeah, they have access to different kind of resources that, no other team has. And, of course, they're poaching players from all over the place. But, the guy's name was Tofik, and he had a real gift that run the club, and he had a gift for organization and putting things on, and he was able to, he had a field. So that was the thing, some clubs don't have fields, but they had their own field. And so he was able to invite people consistently on weekends to come for games.
Yeah, in one of those tournaments, we played against the Kings team in I think it was a semifinal. We scored in the very last minute, the game winner.
Did you get that one off your?
No,
that wasn't off your shin.
And then there was 8 seconds left in the game, and there's like the parents counting down the seconds and like 10, 9, 8, like in French, and they score a goal back and tie the game like within 10 seconds after we scored, and we go to penalties.
Yeah, it was how old were you?
I was 12.
You're 12.
Yeah, 11, 12, yeah.
11, 12. And the speed of play, I mean, it was quite high. And this is almost like a little stadium with fans packed behind, parents packed behind, quite an intense environment. This was...
Oh, yeah. The pressure was high for sure.
It would be more like maybe like a hockey in Canada. You know what I mean? Like a youth, like a high level... Like
a travel team or something like that. Yeah,
where the parents know the game and it's really intense and they're close. Yeah, in a tournament. So this was it was a neat environment.
So anyways, it was a penalty shootout. I was usually the penalty kick taker for the team because I shot bottom right every single time.
Because I told you, don't do anything fancy.
Thomas Muller, he showed me. He's like, look, you shoot bottom right every single time. Most of them will go
pass it in, yeah. So and they were trying all these like Panenkas.
Yeah, Morocco. So we did, the structure was out of 3 instead of 5 penalties. So I believe they went up first. Statistically, they have a better chance of winning if they score first pen, but they hit the post. Our guy scores the next pen. Our goalkeeper saves the second pen, and then so the next person to score wins it. And I happen to be next.
It's a good one to take.
Yeah, the pressure in the moment is...
Yeah.
It's pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did I switch it up? Did I go left this time?
I don't remember what you did.
I went right.
Yeah, you go low right.
Again.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I scored, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way.
It was a big, it was a big cheer.
Your team, the older team, chasing me across the field. Or just,
I remember you running across the field.
Sprinting across the other side. That was a big moment.
Yeah.
We got to the final. We felt pretty confident. Got an early free kick. So I'm the big man that
goes out from the back.
He goes up from the back and try to win the header. It's a low cross, and I hit it with my shin.
That's the shin one.
Yeah, I hit it with my shin.
You went in hard.
It trickles into the goal, and
you ran in hard.
There's no other goals that game, so that was technically the game winner.
You ran hard.
Yeah.
Nice. It was a big moment. It was awesome.
I've definitely had my share of good and bad experiences. I remember in another tournament, our coach wasn't there, and so I think somebody else took over, and he's picking people to shoot penalties. This is in the final, and my teammates were like, "Oh, let Ethan shoot. He's good. He'll score." And we got into a situation where if we score, we win. And
or I think it was, and if you miss, you...
No, if we score, we win.
Because it kept going.
Yeah. And then, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go bottom right. I shoot it over the bar.
That went high right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
really
down.
Clear.
It was big. It was a big... You probably still wake up dreaming about that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We lost
hard.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that clear as day. It was hard.
Yeah. And these weren't like typical 7-a-side goals. I think they were a little taller. I don't know. They're kind of hard to explain.
Kind of similar to what they have now on the side of the fields.
Yeah. just a little bit taller, I think.
You were a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
You were 12.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe I wasn't that bad for missing high when aiming low. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Nerves probably.
But no, those it was an intense moment, and there was a lot of emotion, and probably too much for the age. And
yeah,
you got to remember too, you're an outsider in that culture.
Mm-hmm. And I remember the coach, the next few tournaments, he didn't let me take penalties.
No.
He kind of kept me protected from that environment.
Yeah, so. I think he pulled you back, and I know you wanted to. You were like, "Come on, like I should." And you felt insulted, but I think he was protecting you more than anything from just that possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't only have tournaments in Morocco. With this director Tofik.
Yeah, he set up some good other things too.
He set up some trips to France. He made us all memorize songs, chanting on the plane.
He was a real kind of a showman. Like that was his thing. Like kind of events and like getting people up for events.
Pat el gato. Yeah. This dad missed peeing on the toilet, and so they call him El Gato in Spanish, which means the cat, and then he said in English, Pat the cat, Pat el gato, making fun of him. We were singing that, going around to places. So yeah, he was definitely created some interesting chants. When he first gave the chant list to us, we were kind of like, what is this? Like, we're not a choir, but eventually we got into it.
He did a good job with that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was an interesting trip. Like, do you remember some of the highlights? I mean, when you really list the highlights, list what you did, where you got to go, and who the coaches.
So I'll start off with the smaller trip that's not as remembered as much. We flew to Girona, which is in northern Spain, and we bussed across into France. I think we finished 4th or 3rd in the tournament, and I think our best player got player of the tournament. I think we had a good chance of winning. We just messed up in the semifinal.
I think I won the consolation side. I think we messed up in the group stage. We didn't
Your
get
team?
through. Yeah. we had the tough draw. I think our B team in our age group got through on the other side of the draw.
That's funny.
We didn't.
Yeah, my Peter he coached the older age group, which had some good players, but it wasn't
quite the same.
Wasn't quite the same as what we had.
No, your team was a kind of a special team. Took on almost all comers in Morocco.
No, we were. I would say with almost pretty good confidence we were top 3 in Morocco for our age.
Yeah. Just, I mean, kind of remarkable, but there was that seems, maybe cocky or arrogant, but
that
there
group was special.
There was, it wasn't necessarily you, but it was the attackers.
Oh no, I wasn't. Yeah,
because they probably could have, gone and found another central defender on the street, but you were there, you're in your spot. But there was some attackers there that were like pretty special.
Oh yeah. One called Simoni's pretty. It's
so
built like Messi, small.
Yeah.
I think they paid for him to play. They paid the price.
Yeah,
so
he
could come play with us.
Yeah.
Because he was one of those that came from the slums, didn't have any money, and so they didn't really do that in Morocco. So when Tofik found him, he didn't hesitate to give him the chance to play with us, strengthen our team.
At his age, like crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah, and our next trip to France, or it was actually our first trip, but the most memorable one was to Bordeaux in France, and that was quite an experience. We went there for primarily a futsal tournament, which I think we went out in won in the final.
I think we won the final.
I came off. I remember being upset, but I think we won.
I think your goalkeeper tried to play out from the back or something in the last second. I remember your coach David being angry. I'm not sure if you won, but you're probably near there.
I didn't have some great experience with that tournament, but It was football. Futsal was new.
Yeah, but it was the other
train.
stuff that you had to do. So who else did you play when you were there?
They brought in the Bordeaux team to train with us.
We played Bordeaux. You're sorry to get I'm getting to the good stuff.
And we coached with Zidane's coach.
Do you remember his name?
If you guys will look at the first article, his name's in there if you want to search it up.
Yeah, I have his coaching DVDs.
He's an interesting coach. He coached Zidane. His technical ability, and obviously Zidane's technically gifted.
Yeah, he's got all the this kind of sequence of technical drills.
That was a fun training session to learn from him. And then we got the privilege of going out to the Bordeaux training facilities and playing against their youth team. Mm-hmm. I think we lost 6-0, but I think it was my best game all year.
I thought you did real well. That was a good.
Yeah,
you had a good game.
I was challenged, and so I thought I played well. A couple nice slide tackles. I remember. Yeah, no, you could see, and we were obviously being as good as we were in Morocco. It just shows the difference in level between the two countries. No disrespect to Morocco, but
no, they were playing. They were organized. So, do you remember some of the other games we got to watch? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think there was other tournaments going on. I think it was U15s, PSG, Marseille, Bordeaux, and there's one other team.
Yeah, 4 Toulouse, maybe. I don't know. There was 4 teams gathered in one place.
All from Ligue 1.
And it was, I believe, under 15 and under 16. And I don't know if there was 2 more years, but it was every year. It wasn't like, under 14s or like 13, 14. It was like, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds were in a unique level.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge difference. We know that with youth soccer. You can see the huge difference in 2 years at a time. So they broke it up by year. And so we actually got to watch, like, say, PSG, I don't know, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
And I don't remember the experience that much, but I'm sure they're great players.
No, the PSG team was...
Yeah.
No, the whole thing was, they were extremely well, just organized, but...
So this would have been roughly 5 years ago. 6 years ago? Roughly, 7 years ago.
6, 7 years
So this is before PSG's peak days, but when the new owners has come in. Anyways, we got the privilege of watching.
It was fun just to watch. Yeah, it's amazing.
The professional team, Bordeaux, train, the men's team. That was cool. We got signatures and photos afterwards. And then the next day, we got to walk out onto the field with the players. How like the little children hold their hands.
What do you call it? The mascots? Where you walk out holding the player's hand. So who did you go with?
I went to go with the big center back captain. But he's first in line, and I remember there was a little argument about who should go first.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get Simeone or one of the Moroccan kids first.
Yeah, Simeone. But I was like, no, I want to go with the center back. And so they let me go first. I
think in the confusion, you jumped in and grabbed.
It was fun. He was...
what's his name?
His name's Sané. I think he's Senegalese, roughly 6'2", 6'3". I think he was vital for their team back then. But anyways, on the way back, when they told us to come back into the tunnel, I accidentally got blocked by the camera. When the camera scans in front of the players. So I had a good extra few longer seconds.
On screen?
On screen.
Yeah, nice. Because it was broadcasted back to Morocco.
All the parents from home are taking pictures.
Yeah. But neat experience. And we sat pretty much front row for that game. Got front row seats.
Yeah. No, those were some fun times in Bordeaux. So yeah, that team was gifted in a lot of ways, and
some amazing experiences. You don't think a lot of kids don't get those kind of experiences.
Yeah, great structure, great organizing, just some luck into where we managed to be during that time to end up with that team with the players that they needed. And I thought it was an interesting way to run a club. What did you think about the structure of the club? And
Well, in that difficult environment, you had the right idea. You had a field. To me, there you needed your own field from which to host games, because there's so many teams that want to play. These teams want to play, and so if you go into any of the neighborhoods, I mean, Casablanca's millions of people, and there's thousands. I mean, the number of players and teams that are there, like if they could ever organize it into something structured,
yeah,
the mass of talent that's there is unreal.
No, it could really do something for Morocco,
but they're short fields. They have a lot of dirt fields still. There's only a few turf fields. They're starting to come in, but Spain 15 years ago didn't have turf fields. It was all dirt. So they're just
all courts and futsal.
Well, no, it's just dirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Morocco, it's a lot of cement courts and dirt fields. So he had his field, he had his place. Then he knew how to organize, and he just was a good kind of event organizer, and did a good job at that. It was a good club.
Yeah, I remember one of the interesting components of it was that they had the academy and they had the elite team, is what I think roughly what they called it. So there was they had the A, B, maybe C team, of the best.
No, I think there was only two teams.
Just the A and B. So they had an A and B team for each age group.
And then there was kind of a school.
And then everybody else was like a school. Anyone could come mess around.
Well, they had coaches. So the same coaches that coached the teams would coach for a few hours on Saturday and different groups, a couple of times a week, Wednesday, Saturday. Yeah. And these kids would come in for an hour and 15 or something like that, and you'd give them some training. Yeah, give them some training and some just game amongst the same group, always the same group.
And you see that in a club here in Spain, Arsti Alcalá, and they have a Fundación team, which is kind of more for the extra players and
the recreational level.
They have their main teams, but
here in Spain, the recreational team gets to actually play in a league.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was some fun experiences with Etoile, and if I could ever meet up with boys,
that is a big part of making you who you were as a player.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter, for joining me today. If you guys have enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to follow us on Instagram. We'll be able to notify you when an episode comes out. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can check out our website in the link below, which contains some notes from these episodes and extra articles. Thanks for listening to Reading the Game, and have a fantabulous day.